Everyone, it's Christian Fuchs here. I would like to say a big thank you to our fans and keep having our back for the upcoming Premier League season as well as the Europa League. Keep watching Leicester Fan TV. They have the latest news and they keep you up to date on leicesterfantv.com. So stay tuned and thanks for your support.
Morning, how the devil are we? You thought you got rid of me, didn't you? You thought the season was over and the Aftermath show wasn't going to be here. We've still got quite a bit to talk about. You can't get rid of me that easy. So I think we better get going.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.
Morning all, welcome to the first Aftermath show of the summer season. It's been much a pleasure being with winter, but now you've got to put up with me every Sunday morning. Even you thought there's no football to talk about, but me and Jack can waffle on with the best of them. I know Jack loves talking. Oh, Ross has just joined as well. Ross is there. You know how Ross up north, our northern correspondent, loves talking about football. He loves talking rubbish, he does. So let's bring Ross on. Morning, Ross. How are you?
Yeah, I'm sound. Not
Are you ready to talk a bit of rubbish?
Of course. Are we reenacting goals this week?
Not this week, pal. Well, we might do. You never know. You never know. Something might occur.
Steve Walsh Day, innit?
It is. It is Steve Walsh Day. I'll be the Paul Williams bit underneath and miss the ball completely.
And then Walsh digs it in into the celebration. Yes. Right. We'll do that towards the end then.
Here's Jack. Morning, Jack. How the devil are you, pal?
Morning. How are we?
I've just realised, Wash, you've got the right shirt on for that day.
Yeah. Sorted, right? I'm Steve Walsh.
You're Steve Walsh.
We're going to reenact the Steve Walsh goal later on, Jack.
With the Gary Coates. Who's going to play Gary Coates with, though, that lumped it upfield? You've got to play Gary Coates with this week, Jack. He just lumps it upfield into the box. Right, I'm just going to put the link out for anybody. If anybody wants to join, apart from us three, here's the link. More than welcome. We'll be chatting a load of rubbish. Anybody there? Whoever seen this morning, Patrick, if you want to come on and have a little chat about the FA Cup, more than well, Ken, Andy Medhurst, Brett Wayne, if you're there, where are you? You in Gosport? Anybody that wants to come on. First of all, I'm going to talk about not Leicester, sort of Leicester related. Jack, we had 3 players in the Champions League final last night. Which one didn't you like, and which 2 did you like, pal?
Do you know what? I love Kante. I will admit it. I will hold my hands up. I love Kante. Kante, fantastic player. Uttermost respect for him. He left in the right attitude and the professionalism that he is. Fantastic player. The best centre defensive midfielder in Europe, for sure. We can't put that past him. He holds Chelsea together. Yesterday's game, he was fantastic. He did everything right. Chelsea, without him, wouldn't have really done much in the match. Win that midfield. He bossed the midfield. He bossed Kevin De Bruyne. He bossed Riyad Mahrez. He bossed the old Manchester City team on his own. He didn't need 10 other players. He would have done that on himself. 11 Kante's on the pitch. I don't think he would have stood a chance. But, you know, Mahrez had that chance at the end. He could have made it 1-1. He knew he'd missed and he knew that was it. Chilwell, on the other hand, he still has a lot to say about Leicester. He can't keep his mouth shut even at the times of when Leicester's not playing against Chelsea. So, you know.
So, in other words, just put it in a nutshell then, Jack. You're not really Chilwell's biggest fan, are you?
I don't think any Leicester fans Chilwell's biggest fan, let alone me.
Ross, what do you think?
It's the way he left. You know, and if mostly with Conte, when he left, he actually played amazingly and left on a high. He didn't play terrible and then left. It's like with Chilwell, first half of the season, he were great. Let's be honest, we can't take that away from him. And then for some reason, kind of about January, February time, he suddenly just turned terrible. And the way he left, obviously having a laughing joke with the
Press the wrong one then. That shouldn't come up.
laughing joke with Chelsea players, even playing for us. And obviously Mahrez, obviously that's training and all that stuff and everything. But yeah, it is nice though to see 3 former Leicester players. One, someone's got a text.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry, how unprofessional. We've got to turn my phone off yet again.
Whether we like Chilwell or not, he has come from our academy. And he was in the. And to be fair play, he did play very well last night. I'm not going to take that away from him. I thought he played very well, but he still scored the VAR goal, which was hilarious.
Let's just let's just get rid of that on first. Let's just bring Sean in. Quick few minutes from Sean. Sean, how the devil are you? Morning, pal.
I'm fine, you?
Are you good?
Sean.
Yeah, Jack.
You are, Jack. Ross is up there as well. So how are you, Jack? How's your day been so far?
You just called him Jack.
Sorry. Sean, how's your day been so far, pal?
Don't take over, Sean.
Well, it's a lovely day. It's a hot day.
It is very hot today. Even where I am, pal, it's hot today. Take it from me.
So I got my shorts on.
You got your shorts on, have you? What shorts you got on? Leicester shorts or just shorts?
No, just shorts.
Just shorts. It is warm.
Yeah.
So, are you, Sean? Are you sad the football season's over and looking forward to next season already?
Yeah. I do think next season we might. Next season we might against Norwich.
Yeah. Do you think? I must before, as you've said, Norwich. Let's congratulate Norwich, Watford, and Brentford for coming up. I was trying to get Natalie Sawyer to come on, but she's a bit hungover at the minute, so she can't come on at the minute, which is a bit unfortunate. So, but yeah, congratulations, Norwich, Watford, and Brentford. Brentford first time in 75 years. So Brentford, I can't remember the last time we played him in the league. To be honest, can you, Jack? When we last played him in the league?
No, we last played them in the FA Cup. I think they were last in the top division in 1934-35, I believe.
Yeah, 75 years ago. Yes, everyone, Locks is right there. We only need 9 more people, 9 more subscribers. Everyone.
9.
So everyone watching, if you
come on,
9 more to get 7,000, it'd be much appreciated if we can get there. I was going to mention it later on, but Locks has beat me to it. So yeah, we just need 9 more people to subscribe. So, Sean, who do you think Maddison will leave? Because that's a big thing this week, Maddison.
No.
You don't think he'll leave at all?
No, I don't think so, no.
What about Yuri Tillemans? Do you think he will leave this week?
No.
Not this week. This summer, sorry, I should say.
No.
So, do you think anybody will leave?
I think... I think Wes Morgan.
Wes Morgan's leaving, is he? He's retiring, isn't he? He's going to sit in the sun drinking Captain Morgan somewhere on a beach all day.
Yeah.
Chowdhury. You think Chowdhury's going, do you? What about Christian Fuchs? Fuchs is going, isn't he? He's going to America, isn't he, pal?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Hamza, didn't you, mate? He hasn't played much this year, has he? So do you think he will leave? You think Hamza will go then, yeah?
Yeah. Because he didn't touch the ball and he won't score anyway, so
no.
We must get rid of him.
So you think Hamza will go? Anybody else? Anybody you think might go, pal?
Don't mention that name, Sean.
Which name, Jack?
He mentioned the name on Wednesday night show, and I said, "No, you were having a laugh, Sean." He said, "Oh, one player we're going to leave in the 11th squad." And who do you think he chose?
I go for to get rid of
Was it Wilf?
Yes.
Was it Wilf? You said Wilf, did you? Wait, Wilf? You don't... Oh, no, Sean. No,
Yeah.
not Wilf. Not Wilf. You can't say Wilf, pal.
No.
No,
Why
we can't-
not?
No, we can't say Wilf. We can't say Wilf. So, Sean, Sean, are you getting the season ticket next year?
Well, I think so. Yeah.
You think so?
Well, my mum is going to buy them, and I think I can't go on.
You'll go instead.
Go on 9.
Ah, right, okay then. Sean, just before you go, pal, I want you to do me a favour, right? I've got
And
this
what's
trophy.
that?
I've got the trophy here. I'm going to
Yeah.
lift it up, and I want you to give it a big roar. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I lift it up, are you...
Mention that. Well, I want the cup.
You won the cup, or you want the cup?
I want it in my house.
You can't have this one, pal. This
You'll have
one's
to go to
mine.
Arcade and get it.
This is special to me. Look, this is how you can't have this one.
Go and get it from the stadium, Sean.
Right, Sean, I'm going to lift it up, and I want you to give me a big cheer before you go. Yes, pal. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's going to go. Ooh,
Yay!
well done, Sean.
Come on, Leicester!
Come on,
Sean.
Sean, thanks for joining us, pal. Been much appreciated. Will you join Jack on Wednesday night again, matey?
Yeah. What time?
It'll be about 7:30, innit, Jack? Something like that.
Yeah, 7:30.
Yeah,
7.
that's fine. Yeah.
Right, then, pal, we shall speak to you later. One more. Come
Yeah.
on, Leicester, before you go.
Yeah. Come on, Leicester.
Well done, Sean. Speak to you later, matey.
And top
Look at
of
them,
the morning.
Top of the morning. I'm not quite going yet, pal, but top of the morning to you. See you later, Sean. Thanks for joining, matey.
Do you know what you should do? On a weekly basis, Jamie, you know, until we don't win the FA Cup again, just do that every single week. We
Lift the trophy.
Until you know, obviously, when we won the league, until we were officially not champions anymore, we should do that with the FA Cup.
I must get a European trophy. I haven't got the European trophy yet. Jamie's right, though. He said Sean Wilf might go. He might replace Fernandinho at Man City. Possible.
If indeed it was going to go anywhere, I think Man City would be the ideal club because, Fernandinho. Yes, I am in bedlocks. I'm just lifted up. No, because Fernandinho is a great asset to Man City and Gundogan. I think if Wilf was going to go, I hope it never happens. But it's football, it's business. I think Man City will be the ideal club for him. But he ain't going cheap though.
No, he definitely won't go cheap. But before we talk about players coming in, we're just going to have a very quick review of the season of the players. So first of all, you two, I want you to tell me, would anybody get 10 out of 10 for this season?
Not Perez.
No, we'll come down to he's a bit lower in the list here, isn't he?
He's about
would you think this man would have been 10 out of 10 this year?
Yeah.
Fantastic, yeah. Player of the season.
I think most improved from last season as well.
Yeah, it was players player of the season and also fans player of the season as well, wasn't it?
Superb.
To be honest, I don't think there was any other people that could beat 10 out of 10, do you think?
No.
So really, it's just Yuri that's 10 out of 10, yeah? So, yeah. So we're going to go 9 out of 10 now. Who do you think would make 9 out of 10? Would you agree that, where is he? Wilf, 9 out of 10, or is he a bit lower?
No, I'd say 9. Because he's had to play a few, centre-back a few games this season, literally thrown in the deep end. And he's done really well, to be fair. Yeah, the odd one game he's not done well, but everyone has entitled to a bad game.
Well, yeah.
I'd say.
What about little Wes Jack? Do you think he would make 9 out of 10?
Do you know what, yeah, for his first season, like you say, he's a whole older head on young shoulders. Look how fantastic he's been. You know, people never heard of Wesley Fofana coming into the Premier League from the league, and look how good he's turned out. People didn't expect that. And you've seen the quality in you thought, you know, this lad could go places against Arsenal. He was showing Aubameyang how it's done. coming in
Yeah,
defensive. So you just think, hold on a minute, who is this lad, isn't it? You know, he's defending so well. It's like he's been in the Premier League for years. And so for his first season, I think he's been superb. So I'd give him a 9.
You'd give him a 9 out of 10 as well.
Mm.
Right, this one, I wasn't too sure about this. I've just got a quick look through and thought, Casper, 9 out of 10.
Oh,
Is that a little bit high, or maybe is it just an 8 for Casper? What do people think out there as well? Ross, what do you think?
I'd
Is
say
Casper a
8.
9 or is he 8?
I would say 8. You know, there's been a few occasions this season where he should have done better on something. Don't get me wrong, the FA Cup and that, amazing. But that's the cup. But in the league wise, I'd say 8. Obviously, they set up their own goal on last Sunday, and some mistakes he has made. So I would say 8. I won't say anything below her. I would say anything below.
Anybody else on that list you think should be on 9 out of 10, or do you think it's just them, Wilf, Little Wes, and
Evans?
Casper?
What about Johnny Evans?
Johnny Evans.
Yeah, Johnny Evans. I thought, I've got him down as wrong one. I've got Johnny Evans down as about 8.5. So I wasn't quite sure with him because he's had a few games injured, hasn't he? So I wasn't sure, but Evans was one of them that was in between, maybe yes, no. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from because he does like bring everything together, doesn't he, for everyone? So yeah, maybe he should be on the 9 out of 10s instead of the 8s out of 10s. So we're going to do the 8s out of 10s now. So Evans is sort of in between it. We'll give Evans 8.5. I haven't got a banner for 8.5. So Evans is. We'll start with Evans, Johnny Evans. So yeah, he should be maybe slightly higher. He should be at the 9s, maybe 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Timothy Castagna? What do you think, Jack? As I can't see Ross at the minute, so we'll get your view on it first.
Castagna has had a fantastic season again. I don't really think he's put a foot wrong at Leicester this season. He's obviously had his injuries like everybody else, but when he has played, he's put on 100% in a Leicester shirt. He's not a free at the back sort of player where you can play him as a centre back like Wilf in midfield. You can't really play Wilf as a centre back either. But I guess you just got to adapt, haven't you, in playing that position if needed. But I think he's handled the pressure well. I think he played well in the FA Cup final, and he's been fantastic overall.
Yeah. I thought I'd missed a player out. JJ. I haven't got a photo of James Justin. I thought I did.
Double J,
Whoops.
James Justin.
Double J. I don't know why I haven't got one. I was going through it this morning. I thought I got everyone. But where would you put JJ? Would he be 8 or would he be 9?
I would have gave him a 10 if he didn't get injured. I thought he was fantastic before he didn't get injured. Jeez, man, that guy, 100%. That banger against Stoke, summed up his season. Fantastic. The confidence, in James Justin to come from League One level to the Premier League and get through in it deep end when Ricardo got injured that season. It showed how much he's improved as a player, and every game he's played with confidence, and it's just shown in the way he's played his game and adapted to it very well. So if he didn't get injured against Brighton, I would have gave him a 10, and I think he would have been in the England squad this Euros.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Yeah,
100%.
100% there. Yeah. So I'm just looking for a photo of JJ. I thought I had one, but
my favourite goal was the Fulham goal. It's the ran.
Yes.
The reason I like that more than the Stoke goal, don't get me wrong, that was a great goal. But it's the way that he ran from his position all the way in, and boom shakalaka, it's in the back of the net. Like
boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
What about Nacho? 8 out of 10? Or is it because it's a bit difficult with him, isn't it, Jack? Because the start of the season, he wasn't doing that well, was it? And then we all wanted, not all wanted him. We thought, we best go out on loan, get some game time. And then Barnes got injured, and he came in and he started scoring goals. So does the first half of the season knock his performance down for the end of the season? Because he was fantastic towards the end of the season. It's like 2 seasons completely different for him, weren't it?
Well, in the last 5 years, I don't think he's done much for us. But this season, when Barnes got injured, he threw in it at deep end again. I think Kell is a confidence player. He builds on confidence and he plays well when he does play every game. He scored quite a lot of goals. 16 goals. He's our top scorer this season. And it just shows how good he is when he does play in his actual position. And with Vardy, he seems confident enough to do it. If you play Kell on his own, he runs around like a headless chicken. The Crystal Palace game, when he missed that penalty, every Leicester fan wanted him out. They didn't want to see him in a Leicester shirt again. But I think he's answered his critics quite well when he has been given the chance and called upon. And this is the first time he's actually took his chance at the football club when given it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying Nacho should have a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'd say seven.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand where they're coming from because, like I said at the start, beginning of the season, end of the season, they're two totally different. I mean, to be a player like that, normally if you've not got the confidence, you carry on all season like it. But it'll just just after Christmas time, it changed for him, didn't it? Well, not even Christmas time, it was more January time, wasn't it?
He scored against Burnley, were it?
That it changed completely.
The Fulham game.
Yeah,
Andy Menes is right. He needs his hand holding, arm around his shoulder, and that just to.
Yeah, he does.
What about Harvey Barnes? What do you think, Harvey Barnes? Would he be an 8, or because he got his goal scoring boots on this year, didn't he, Ross?
I'd say an 8.5 because like last season, now the season before now, he was getting in them positions, just couldn't composure. I didn't have the great composure. Now this season, before he got injured, fantastic composure. Some of the goals have been insane, and and obviously I think Vardy's helped him a lot with his shooting boots. And it was. I think I said an 8.5 before I got injured, and I think had it not been for his injury, same with Double J James Dustin, I think both of them would have been in the England squad. 100%.
Yeah, Jake saying Nacho 9 out of 10. The way he's grown this season under Rodgers is incredible. Well, he scored 39 goals for Leicester in his 4 seasons. He scored 19 altogether this year, and he's only scored 20 in the previous 3 seasons. So it's a bit hard to tell because most of them goals this season, I think at least 15 of them probably were scored since February, weren't there? Something like that. Maybe even more since February. He hardly scored any at all, hadn't he, before Christmas? So he's much improved. So it's a bit up and down, isn't it? Where with him, you're not quite sure.
It's all about next season. And when Vardy does come out of the team from a starting player, and Leicester do start playing without Vardy, Nacho is going to be their main man anyway. Everyone's going to look at, and I think Leicester bringing a striker in this summer, it'll prove is Nacho up for the job again. Will he be able to do it without Jamie Vardy? Because he's relied on Jamie Vardy for quite a lot of goals that he scored. If it weren't for Vardy, I don't think he would have scored that many. But...
Right, here's the one now. We're now going to go 7 out of 10. So we're getting lower down the scale now. This could be quite interesting. Everyone get your thoughts on this. First name in the hat for 7 out of 10, I would have thought would be Jamie Vardy. Yes? No? Come on, lads. What's people's views on that?
Had it not been for his assists towards the second half of the season, I think it would be lower than 7. Obviously, I think they bring him back. I think he came back too early from his operation. So obviously, first half of the season, you've got to give him a 9 out of 10. Score all the goals he's scoring. But second half of the season, obviously, it doesn't help with his injury. If it wasn't for his assists, it would be lower than 7.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, Jack, do you agree with that? What Ross has said?
It's not been Vardy's best season, has it? Obviously, last season he won the Golden Boot. This season,
he still scored 15 goals, though, hasn't he? Was it 15 he ended up with?
He scored more penalties than he has from open play. Is that showing in age now, where he's slowing down a bit? I'm not sure. Is he coming to an end at Leicester? Do we need to now think of a younger striker to come in and replace him? Is Vardy one of them players next season where he could come off the bench and do a job? But against Tottenham, he looked like an old Jamie Vardy we knew before. He's had quite a few injuries this season. He's not been the same what we expect from Jamie Vardy at the highest level. But he always puts in 100%, whether he's not scoring or not. He's here, there, and everywhere, and that's what we love about Jamie.
I think a lot of people are agreeing with what we're saying about his 7. There's a couple that have said 8. But I think we're agreeing that Vardy's on a 7. What about this? Is if Mark was here, you know what he'd be saying. If Reedy was here, we'd be having a right argument about it. Madders, what do you think, Madders? I've got him down as a 7 because I don't think he's had the best season at all, to be honest. He might even be
a 6,
6.5, but I'm not sure. What do you say, Jack? Madders,
Lower than that.
Jack, you take the Mark role of not liking Madders, and Ross, you take the Reedy role of liking Madders. So come on, give me your opinions.
Are we doing impressions?
No, don't. Well, you'd be asleep. You'd have to dye your hair green if you were Reedy, wouldn't you?
That's true.
Go on then, Jack. What do you think, Maddison?
it's not been his best season again. Since he's come back from injury and that, he's not really done much. Is he living in Jack Grealish's shadow? It seems to be prevailing, doesn't it, that Grealish has made the England squad and Maddison hasn't. He's made the wrong choices. His ego's got ahead of him.
Sorry, Jack. Yes, Andy, that is very true, that statement. Yes, I do slow down when we go older. I'll totally agree with you on that one. Sorry, Jack, carry on. I have to answer that one.
No, I don't think it's been Madders' best season. He didn't really do much against Tottenham either. We didn't really see him. Maddison's good and then he isn't. And when he is bad, he is bad. You just don't see him at all. It's like a ghost. You don't see him to believe it. But Maddison, I'd give him a 6, to be honest, as far as that.
Righty, I'm just going to bring Brett's just joined. Let me bring him in. He's come to the interesting part of the conversation. How are you, Brett? You all right?
Morning, you all right?
Maddison, I'd give him a 6, to be honest, as far as that.
Righty, I'm going to bring Brett's just joined. Let me bring him in. He's come to the interesting part of the conversation. Brett, are you watching on two different screens?
I'd give him a 6, to be honest, as far as that.
Righty, I'm going to bring Brett's just joined. Let me bring him in. He's come to the interesting part of the conversation. Brett, are you watching on two different screens?
No.
I'd give him a 6, to be honest,
I've got it on one.
as far as that.
I'm going to bring Brett's just joined. Let me bring him
Oh,
in.
what's going on
I can hear what I'm just saying.
No.
I'd give him a 6, to be
I've
honest,
got it on one.
as far as
Oh,
that.
right, okay then.
Brett's just.
Where were we? That's better.
That's better. Another tab open.
There you go. That was right. Where were we, lads? What number were we at? Were we at 5? We were at 7, weren't we? We were at 7 out of 10. Brett, what do you think about? The lads were just talking about Madders. Do you think it's a 7, or do you think it'd be less than a 7 for Madders?
I think Madders is a hard one, isn't he? I mean, he's shown some moments of brilliance throughout the season. He's shown some inspirational bits, and then he's been frustrating. Whether or not you could say he's fully fit at the moment, and even at the end of the season, it's a hard one. I think we are going to benefit from him not being called up to England. I think that's a definite benefit for us looking ahead to next season. I just think, I think he's bordering a 6/7 for me this season. I think, and some of it's not really down to his application. I think, you look at him and his interviews and the way he's carried himself when he's hit the form. It's been there to see, and he's got a smile on his face. I think end of the season, when he's come off in Spurs, he doesn't look like he's there. He's frustrated. So yeah, I think he's possibly a 6, maximum 7 for sure for him. And I think next season, I think he'll be one of those players that we'll see push on to an 8/9. I certainly hope he will be anyway.
Yeah, it's like I say, he hasn't had the best of times, has he? He's taken some stick for it. But if Maddison was more like this bloke, Brett, Michael Brighton, he's one of the most underrated players. I know he's only got a 7, but it's most games he's normally 7 or 8 out of 10, isn't he, Brett? Michael Brighton. For me, anyway.
Yeah, no. I'm a big fan of Brighton. He's one of those players that for me goes down in a long list of Leicester players that you look at and think, how has he not won England cap? How has he not been recognised more for his contribution? I mean, a championship season, you showed me a better crosser of the ball. Some of the assists he had for Vardy was amazing. He has a hard time, but then other times I think he's also, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he puts 100% effort in every single game. You know what you're always going to get with him.
Yeah, I mean, since he left Villa, the Villa fans, every Villa fan I spoke to when he left, he said, I don't understand why they actually sold him, because he was a good player and he was underrated there, and he's still underrated now. Like you said, Brett, I still think he deserved an England cap a few years ago. Maybe not the last couple of years when we won the championship, when we won the Premiership and the quarter and the when we got to the Champions League quarterfinals. I think he deserved an England cap then, to be honest. Maybe not so much now because he's a bit more in and out of the team, but I think, like you say, he's probably one of the most underrated players out there, isn't he, Brett?
Definitely, and I think what he gives us is a bit like JJ in a way. He's not just a one trick pony. He's not a one position. You know, he's capable of doing multiple jobs for us. And you know, for me, he's one of those players that I think at the time England could have done with. But yeah, I think, you know, he's another. Well, for me, he's a club legend. You know, he goes down with the. You know, I think one of the best photos I saw after the FA Cup was obviously the collection of 5 players there all together.
Yeah.
And you know, for me, one of our top signings. You know, looking back on, what a bargain! What an absolute bargain he's been.
He has been. Also, lads, I think Ross and Jack know that this man is probably one of my favourite players at the moment. Not quite up there as one of my top players, but at the minute, Mr. Soyuncu, Mr. Massive, is absolutely fantastic. I know he's not had the best of seasons, the end of the seasons, Jack, but a 7 out of 10, or do you think that's a bit high for him, or is it a bit low for him? What do you think?
He's the Turkish delight of Leicester. If you like Turkish delight, you either love him or you hate him. But no, Cags, it can be very frustrating to watch, like Brett says about Albrighton, and it can be very frustrating. Maddison, it can be very frustrating to watch Cags. He has the fantastic of games, but and then on other games, he'll make the simplest of mistakes, like the one against Newcastle. He tried doing a Cruyff turn on Joe Willock, and then I was like, oh my God, what are you doing there? You know, and I think with Johnny Evans in defence, it's the case of he helps him quite a lot because Cags has still got a lot to learn, and Johnny Evans is a holder head that he is and the experience that he gives. He helps out for Fofana and Cags, and I think that's going to improve Cags' game massively with Johnny Evans being there at the back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Johnny Evans is that linchpin. If he ever gets injured, Ross, we do look like we struggle, don't we, to be honest?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. We don't really need to say any more about that, do we? Right, we're going to go on to 6 out of 10 now. So who do you think, lads, will be in that 6 out of 10? Do you think, we'll start with this man, Magic Mendy. Has he done enough to get a 6? Or Brett, is he one that could be on the verge of going, or has he done enough to stay a bit longer for us, Brett?
I think he's a firm 6. To be fair, when you know he's been a great squad player for us. I don't think he's realised perhaps the potential which we signed him with. You know, he had a hard start when he came to us, but I think this season, you know, to be fair to him, when Ndidi came back to fitness, I actually felt quite sorry for him because I think he'd put in some stellar performances. He looks awkward to play against. You know, you look at the big sort of, you know, because of his low centre of gravity, he's a small player. He really upsets some of those midfielders, you know, because they don't quite, and the strikers, they don't quite know how to deal with him. Yeah, I think he'll stay. I don't think he'll go. I think he's a good squad player. I think, you know, Rodgers trusts him. You know, I don't think there's a doubt in Rodgers' mind that, you know, when we need to shore things up, he'll bring him on. I think he prefers him over Chowdhury in that sort of position. And yeah, again, I think you know, he kind of epitomises kind of what the squad's about. You know, he doesn't complain, he doesn't moan. You know, he's not stamping around, you know, throwing his toys out the pram when he doesn't get picked or he's not in. And he had, to be fair to him, he had every right to kind of feel a bit aggrieved when Ndidi came back and he went out.
He didn't do a lot wrong, did he? He didn't really do a lot wrong, like you say.
No, he didn't. And I think, you know, I think for him, he will be looking at obviously the European season coming up, and he will see that there's lots of opportunities for him there. Because to be fair to Wilf, he can't play every game. We're going to have to rotate. So Mendy's got to be sitting there thinking he's going to get his chances, and he's got to be there. Whether or not Rodgers will rely on him, or whether or not, you know, we strengthen again in that department, I don't know. But if I was Mendy, I'd be sitting there thinking, you know, there's a good chance I'm going to get played this next season coming in.
So the way Brett's talking, then you got Ndidi is number 1, Magic at number 2, and then this guy number 3, Hamza.
Yeah.
6 out of 10, Jack. Do you think yes? And do you think, like Sean said, do you think he will go, Jack? this season.
He's a leg breaker, ain't he, Hamza? You don't trust him on the field, even when you start him or even bring him on. You don't know what's going to be pulled out there. You just hope he don't get sent off. We've seen a few method challenges from him. Hamza is an old school footballer. I know he's young, but he acts like football's in the olden days where he can just tackle for whatever and they'll take it and move on. But, Hamza does put a job in when he does. Is he at Leicester's level of top 6? No, I don't think so. I think he'll be lower down. Like, obviously, Norwich and Newcastle are wanting him, so maybe he'd develop in them sort of clubs. It'd be a shame to see Hamza go, but, I guess when your times come, on it. So I think Hamza's done all right in a Leicester shirt coming up from the academy and that, but you just don't trust him on the field.
Talking of academy, Ross, what about this guy, Luke Thomas?
I think,
10, or should it be more?
I think it should be a little bit more. I think I'd say about 7, I reckon, because obviously he's not played as much as everybody else, but when he does put in, he's had the odd poor game, but the goal against Manchester United, the goal in the Europa League, and this shifting he put in the FA Cup final, I'd say 7. But he just touched on then about his red card, Chowdhury getting sent off. He's only been ever sent off once, and that was a harsh decision against Wolves. That was at Molyneux. It was the harshest decision ever. But I know what you mean. He's like the Lee Tacklemore of Leicester. Lee Cattlemore, sorry. I meant to say. But no, I think with Chowdhury, he reminded me when Knockout used to be here. Not the skill-wise. I'm on about one game he's great. The next minute he's a liability. You think he's so frustrating. He's like, I just want to squeeze his head. He's so frustrating to watch. But I think with Chowdhury, I don't think we should let him go permanently. I think loan deal. I think
maybe.
Yeah. I think
maybe.
Yeah.
Brett, with it's a bit difficult for this guy, Ricardo Pereira. He's had a bit of problems with injury, and he hasn't looked the same, has he, since he's come back from injury? So is 6 out of 10 about right for him, or is he a bit? He can't be any higher than 6, surely, can he? This season?
No, I don't think so. I think he's a 5/6 for me this season. Again, when you look at last season, he was probably one of, if not the best right backs in the Premier League last season. Wing backs. You look at what he did last season; it was fantastic. He was so hard to get round. He contributed going forward. His energy levels were fantastic, and I think again he's in the same camp for me as Maddison. He's really struggled to get back to fitness and form. He's obviously got the added challenge now of Castagna in there ahead of him. Whether or not he can be pushed on, and I know Rodgers has played in there quite a few times now, has kind of pushed him more forward as a winger. Then next season that could work really well for us. It does solidify that right hand side, gives Castagna that little bit of extra protection in front of him. But yeah, again, he's another one. I think next season's a big season for him. This season, it's almost a bit of a write-off for him. It's been frustrating to watch because he's not been the same player. You can see it in him. He's got that bit of doubt in his mind, I think, about going into tackles, making those quick runs. He's not quite there. His confidence isn't there. He's not sharp at the moment. So I think definitely 6 max, probably a 5 for me.
I was a bit unsure. I thought 5. For me personally, I thought 5 was a bit low because of his seasons before. So I thought I'd give him a 6. But I agree with you there. He's not quite up to full fitness, is he? And I think next year we'll see him better. Right. Now we're going to go on a huge talking point that will set the tongues wagging. Hold on, I haven't got a photo of him. I thought I did. Where's he gone? I've got a photo of him. Perez. I thought, there we have. Where would you put Perez? Because I don't think he's a 6, unfortunately. Where would you put him then, Jack?
I just love how you
in this one. Would you put him in that one, pal, in the 5 out of 10, or would you put him lower?
Do you know what? He's not worth £30 million. I don't think he's a top 6 player. maybe we could swap him for St Maxim at Newcastle with money on top and send him back there, because the Sports Direct receipts don't lie, do they? 28 days you give it, don't you? Or is it 28 years because it's Jose Perez? Perez, yes, he scored a hat-trick against Southampton of 10 men. Yes, he scored against Sheffield United twice. But I just don't think he's a Leicester City sort of player what Brendan Rodgers needs. I think we need better. People are arguing the case of, you've not played him in his natural position. But even when we have played him in his natural position, he hasn't performed to the levels that Brendan wants. I'm not going to talk about Claude Puel's high-intensity football because that's long gone. But Jose Perez, I'm not a fan of him. I don't call him out or scapegoat him, because you can't scapegoat one player in the Leicester City team if there's 11 players on the pitch. Maybe if he'll play one-on-one with a brick wall, you could probably call him out then. He'd probably make the same mistakes then, but maybe he should stick to cooking and rather playing football on a football pitch.
or hosting parties.
or hosting parties, yes. Brett, what about this, man? I've got two more to choose. Daniel Amati. Has he done right this year, or has he done wrong this year? Because he seems to... He's like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. For his effort, for me, I love him. I think he puts the effort in. He scares the death out of me when he's trying to play a simple pass, but I love him for the way his attitude is, and he gives it 100%. But he does scare the death out of me when he tries to control a simple pass. So come on then, Brett. It's down to you now.
I think, he's a 5. He's a firm 5 for me. And again, he's a player who I don't think has realised his potential with us. I think he was one that we brought for the future. Obviously, he had that really big injury. But I'm with you. And I almost think he's one that might go in the summer. You look at Rodgers and when he looks on the bench, and when Fofana went off against Spurs, Amati's there and he doesn't bring him on.
Yeah.
So he's worried about him. He obviously scares Rodgers enough as well as the rest of us. But do you know what? Again, I don't think you can fault his effort, his application. He comes on and does what he does, gives it 100% for what he can do. I just don't think he's in the level where we need him to be. So I think he's a player that, if he does stay, he's going to find his chances very, very limited next season. But he's one of those I could see well and truly going down. Possibly, we say about Norwich, Newcastle. If we do go for the likes of Tarkowski, who we were linked with very heavily last season, he might be in part of that deal. Whether or not Sean Dyche should look at him and be comfortable with him is a different question as well. But great. He's one of those players that, again, he's been here a long time. He's not really got there. Yeah.
Totally agree with that. I mean, Ross, before he got injured against the West Ham, the fateful West Ham game. He was looking quite good then, wasn't he? Then he got his injury, and he just hasn't come back at all, has he? How he was playing before.
Well, it's hard to come back from an injury. Sometimes with a very big injury. Obviously Ricardo, you mentioned then a few minutes ago. He's not been the same since he's come back, and Vardy's not been the same since the injury. Sorry, I just read that previous comment just before.
Roof.
But no, with Martin, let's not forget. I remember, that's a point. My dad's just put it on just before, and Dennis Pratt.
I just realised I missed him out. We'll go back to him in a minute.
With a Martin, let's not forget, when we beat Man City 5-2, we were all on here thinking, why is Amati starting? We're all on here, let's be honest. And, when he does put in his shift, let's not forget, he's the first player to score from a Leicester corner in a very long time. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, fair point.
It was a fantastic.
What a goal it was.
On his day, I think he's a good player. And, he's one of them where it's like a backup player where we need him. He's there. He'll put a shift in. When he's been said, right, you're going to put a shift in, do it, and he'll do it. But I don't think he should go, my opinion. I don't think.
Right, we've got one left to do. 4 and below out of 10. Who do you think it could be, lads? Who do you think we haven't had on there so far? You're all thinking now, ain't you? You're all thinking, Ross, you should know who it is because you were giving him big ups right at the very beginning when he signed for us.
Ross gives
You
anyone
loved him. You loved him.
Oh, check this under.
You were giving him big loves at the beginning, weren't you, Ross? So come on, what's gone wrong with him, Ross?
Well, he's underachieved. No pun intended. But no, I think something must have happened on the training pitch because let's remember he's Kag's best mate. Sorry, should I say? Obviously, he's probably given, spoken Turkish to Brendan Rodgers. I don't know how that conversation went about. Northern Irish and a Turkish man having a conversation, but in regards to Under, because when he first came in, we thought this is going to be fantastic, but it's just not been great for him, and something must have gone on. Obviously, we don't know. Obviously, we're not Bielsa, we're not spying on him in there, but something must have gone on for him to not even be in the squad. Never mind in the first on the sub bench. It's just not been great for him. I mean, fair play. The two things he has done was that assist for the Arsenal goal. First win in Arsenal in 47 years. And the goal against Brentford. Yeah. And that's pretty much all the thing I can think of.
I mean, like Ben Morgan said, Brett, I agree with Ben. Maybe not the Knockart bit, but I thought he was going to be the missing piece of the jigsaw, which I did. He came with such a reputation, but it hasn't happened for it, has he, Brett?
It hasn't. And I mean, whether or not you look at him and say, the Premier League's just a little bit too hard for him or a bit too physical. Don't know, But even when we played him in Europe, he doesn't seem to. He hasn't really shone, And the Europa League games. That's where I kind of thought he would shine.
I thought the same, Brett. I thought it'd be better in the Europa League, and then that will build his confidence up to come back in the Premier League. But it didn't seem to happen, did it, pal?
It didn't. And I was kind of, I think we all were. I mean, as Ross said, we all kind of looked and thought he was going to be the missing link. Replace that fill that right hand sort of void. But when you look, going back to Perez, when Brendan's playing Perez on the right wing ahead of him, that kind of gives you an idea of what Rodgers' idea of him is. And then he's not in the squad when he's come back from injury, we kind of end up playing all Brighton, Pereira in there. So yeah, he's been one of those players that I think has been frustrating. I think there was I think Rodgers said earlier on in the season that, or someone mentioned it earlier on in the season, is the fact of he doesn't track back. He doesn't do the defending work. He's a bit lazy in that part. He's a bit of a luxury player at the front, and perhaps doesn't do as much work backwards. And I think that's been I think that's possibly what's kind of sealed his fate a little bit.
Right, you're talking about not working backwards, not tracking back. There's a big rumour, Brett, that this man, there's the Man City trying to get rid of him.
Really?
Yeah. And Arsenal are in for a shout. And it's also set. Well, no, there's been no rumours about him coming back. It's just what people are mentioning. Would you take him, Brett, after the way he left? Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't quite like the way he left. I understand why he wanted to go and his ambitions and that. And I'm really pleased to see him as a former Fox realising those ambitions. And I would love nothing more than to have absolutely skinned Chilwell last night and put it in the top left. That to me was what I was hoping for. I was sat here watching it last night and I was praying that Perez was just going to turn it on. I'd have him back because I still think he's perhaps the most skillful player I think we've had at the club. And do you know what? I could forgive him if he came back and actually if we got him back and he came back and said, do you know what, guys? Fair dues, I've done this, I've done that, I'm back. And if he applied himself, that's the key. It's I almost have a bit more respect for him than I do for Chilwell. Chilwell has really kind of dug down on us as a player who's come from the academy. Mahrez, okay, we discovered him, we brought him through. He made no secret of his ambition. He did down tools on us for a bit, to be fair, but if he comes back, you know he's going to want to come back. So if it's there, then yeah, I'd say yeah, I'd have him, but I can't see it ever happening at the moment. To be honest,
No,
I think
I
it would, mate. I remember a few days after, obviously, the unfortunate thing with Vichai, I remember he scored. With Man City against Tottenham, and he got very emotional about it. You know, because people when they leave Leicester, they never bash the owners. Because obviously all players, you know, when they've left clubs, they've always bashed their owners and stuff, how it's ran. I can't name a single player that's ever left Leicester and said, "Oh, these owners have been terrible," or "They didn't treat me very well." You always hear praise every single time. And would I take Mahrez? 100%. You know, yes, obviously everyone deserves a second chance, unless you're called Dennis Wise. But I think you know, we all deserve a second chance. You know, when Pearson first came back, we were a bit unsure. You know, they always say never go back, and obviously what he did for us, who knows? But I'd take him back. Obviously, the thing is though, what's the price tag going to be? Obviously, a few Premier League medals under him, and a few League Cups, and all that stuff. So, see what happens.
Yeah.
I'd take him back 100%.
I would as well. Right then, lads, that's going to be the end of the show. Thanks for joining us, Brett. Much appreciated you joining.
Brett could be the goalkeeper, reenact the Steve Walsh goal.
We could do it. I haven't got time. I haven't got time to do that at the minute. But yeah, we'll do some more reactments next week, Ross. We'll think about it during the week.
I got Charlotte to do Jamie Vardy one.
I saw that. 1 second. My mate's trying to join me here. Look.
Oh, who's that?
That's Alfie.
Alfie.
He's just jumped through the door and came through and saw. Oh God, that's enough. You're not licking me no more, pal. I don't know where you've been this morning. Well, I've been in here. But right then, Brett, cheers for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Yes, pal.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot for joining us, Ross. We shall see you later, mate.
Yeah, no worries. Off to work.
You off to work? You're not having a kip here.
No, well, I was gonna. But...
Ross looks sad.
Ross always looks sad because he's got to go back work. Thank you for the 99p. Whoever's just sent me that, I've lost who it is, but much appreciated.
Ronald McDonald.
Is it Ronald McDonald? It's Ronald McDonald that sent me the 99p. Cheers. Pal.
Not to mention Dennis Pratt.
There
it is. Ronald McDonald. Cheers, pal. Thanks a lot. I'd rather have a cheeseburger for that instead of 99p.
Chicken mayo.
Yes, Sean. Alfie's lad. It's Alfie. Sean, if you're still watching, C Club is open, so your holiday should be on in August. So much appreciated. Right then, Ross, we shall speak to you later. Cheers for joining, and we'll do some goals next week. Jack, we'll speak to you later, pal. Have fun. Be good.
See you later, pal.
Enjoy all. Right. So thanks for watching. It's been much appreciated. We've run over a little bit of time because it was quite a lot to talk about. I had a bit more to talk about transfers and that, but we'll leave that for Jack to talk about during the week. So it's ciao, adios, goodbye, top of the morning to you. See you all later. Bye now.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. With special thanks to our pals at ADT Taxis, Feed Me, Piglet's Pantry, Tiger, Leicester Garage Conversions, Pink Vehicle Leasing, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Moyer Wade Interiors, and our chosen charity, Memphis UK. We bring you the fans' views on the match each week, and your views matter to us. Join the fans' debate each match with us. Follow us at Leicester Fan TV.